Hello, our wonderful viewers, most especially to our internationally educated nurses. Wherever you are in the world, we want to greet you and welcome you to ADS Learning Center's first online event of 2024. Interesting fact, this is the comeback event of ADS Live, where we host insightful webinar sessions that cater to our dearly valued nurses and healthcare professionals. And for our first salvo, we have prepared a very interesting topic for everyone. But before anything else, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ellie, and I will be your host for this exciting discussion today. Before I give you a brief discussion of what our topic for today is, let me share with you our house rules. First, you have to listen attentively and take notes if you wish. Second, feel free to ask any questions in the comment section. Three, we shall answer questions at the end of the session. And number four, it may not be possible to answer everyone's questions, but the team will still try to answer each of them. We will be sending a list of all answers to your questions via email or Facebook. Okay? So, welcome to our online event entitled Beyond Borders Life as a UKRN. Today, we will be diving deep into the career path, challenges, and triumphs of our esteemed guest speaker who is already an expert and a seasoned UK registered nurse. Without further ado, let's embark on this enlightening journey together. Navigating the healthcare landscape in a foreign country can be both daunting and rewarding. As we explore the life of a UK registered nurse through the lens of our guest speaker, we'll uncover the complexity of her journey, the distinction of the UK healthcare system, and invaluable insights for aspiring nurses seeking to broaden their horizons. Get ready to go beyond borders and delve into the heart of nursing in the UK. All right, let's now meet our guest. It's my honor to introduce our distinguished guest for this webinar. She is an accomplished registered nurse in the Philippines with a decade of experience in the UK healthcare domain. Currently, she serves as a nurse trainer at ATS Learning Center, bringing her wealth of knowledge and expertise to nurture the next generation of nursing professionals. Let's extend a warm virtual welcome to nurse Marla Pia Alzate. There you go. Hi, Miss
Hi,
Marla. How are you doing?
hi, Sir Ellie. Good afternoon. I'm good, thank you.
Yes, it's really nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
I know. I'm really sure it's really nice to be back at our very own ATS Light. And a lot of nurses worldwide is now in the ice between the two of us. All right. I'm really excited about this. And are you excited?
Nervous and excited.
Yes, exactly. Now, for the much awaited part of our program, the Q&A session, we have prepared a set of questions to you, Miss Marla, and we believe that these questions also reflect what our audience would like to know if they are also considering to pursue a nursing career in the United Kingdom. We've divided the question and answer session into four parts. The first session is called A Decade of Reflection, where you will share with us an overview of your nursing career in the UK and the personal or the career growth you've gained during your 10 years of working in an international setting. The second is the UK healthcare landscape. In this session, we will learn more about the UK healthcare system and your insights on adapting to the UK's nursing culture. Of course, we also have the third session. It's all about professional development and training. Here, we will tackle about the importance of mentorship and opportunities for career advancement in the United Kingdom. And of course, the fourth session will be the most exciting. This is actually one of my favorite part as we read and ask you questions that come from our audience. For sure, our followers are very eager to ask some things connected to the UKRN journey. And good thing, we have you, a very competent UK nurse, to answer it for them. So, Miss
Thank you.
Marla, my question is, are we ready to start?
Yes, Sir Ellie. I'm ready.
Well, all right then. So let's go to our first session. So again, we will be calling this a decade on reflection. Miss Marla, can you share a brief background of your experience as a nurse in the UK?
Actually, I arrived in the UK when they started pooling of nurse applicants from the Philippines to become UK RNs. This is actually way back almost 20 years ago. I started working at a nursing home where I did my adaptation period as a prerequisite to become a registered nurse that time because the test of competence wasn't really being practiced yet at that time. And
Mm.
then after 2 years, I worked in the acute medical ward in the NHS. I also worked in the escalation unit for 2 years. But my last area of placement before I went back to the Philippines was in the gastroenterology ward.
Oh, really? That's really very interesting. What were some of the most significant milestones or achievements in your UKRN journey during this period?
Um, there are several significant milestones I may have in my UK journey. But the most significant milestone I will consider is being able to adapt well to the culture and the way nursing is practiced in a first world country like the UK. There are a lot of things to learn and to unlearn, and it wasn't easy. But I'm thankful for colleagues who have been very helpful during my adjustment period. Aside from adjusting to the culture, the most challenging experience I have had at that time is language.
Okay.
Because knowing how to speak English alone is not enough. You must learn accents and slang words to be able to be understood by patients and colleagues. We all know as nurses that communication is vital in nursing practice. This is the same reason why I always tell my trainees during training sessions to start speaking the British way when they get to the UK. It'll be a good start of practice for them.
Oh wow, yeah, I do agree with you with the British accent. I hope I can have the British accent though in the near future. But well, here in the Philippines, we grew up doing the American accent. But
Yeah.
British accent would be a great one to add in, in the plate. I have another question for you, Miss Marla. Are there specific patient stories or cases that have left a lasting impression on your career and shaped your approach to nursing?
The British patients are quite very lovely. I
Oh.
have two specific patients I could mention actually that I will never forget during my UK
Mhm.
experience. The first one was when I was still very new in the UK. This patient of mine, she coached me how to adjust to my new environment. Every morning when I give her her wash, she would tell me stories of what the Brits are like. I was very, very young then, and she knows that it was my first time being away from my family. So she would give me encouragement when I tell her how I miss them. She's one key person why I made it through the struggles of adjustment, especially that there were only two Filipino nurses I am working with during that time in my
Mhm.
workplace. And another patient that I can recall is a patient who is a Crohn's disease.
Mhm.
Crohn's disease is not very common here in the Philippines. I was new to the gastro ward and know little about Crohn's. So this patient of mine, he gave me a background about Crohn's and how to care for patients like him. He
Oh
became
wow.
very unwell at one time, and I looked after him or I took care of him. He was very, very grateful and very appreciative. This is a common trait of British patient. I
Wow.
begin to appreciate more myself in what I do, and it's also I begin to love the profession I choose to become.
Oh, what a wonderful decade of reflection on that. What I really learned from you right now is that you also learn from your patients, isn't it? So if you have
Yes.
It's you learn from them, not by the book, but what you experience emotionally, physically. That's really amazing. And wow, yeah, I do agree that the British people are really lovely people. I agree on that. Yes. Okay. So I think this decade will be helpful. Decade of reflection will be very helpful enough with our nurses right now who's currently listening to you. Those who are aspiring to work in the UK, same thing you already have that 10 years impressive experience, right? Now, let's move to the second session. We're not yet done. And this time we'll talk about the UK healthcare landscape. So, what are the key differences between the UK healthcare system and the healthcare system in the Philippines?
Actually, what I will mention here are all based only from my own experience. Okay, I think there are several differences that I could mention based on my own experience. Again, number one is language, and then the second is, of course, the clinical setup. Aside from well advanced equipment that we need to learn to use, there is also regulation for nurse patient ratio, which is actually a good
Mhm.
thing because UK nurses are always or in most time given only reasonable load of patients, making sure that effective care is given and without risk of safety. Third, I could mention is the multidisciplinary team. Okay,
Mhm.
patient care here in the Philippines or even in other countries. Okay, mostly who are involved are patient, nurse, and doctors only. But in the
Oh.
UK, different specialist team can be involved in their care. This is also a reason why nurses must always recognize their limits and must work within that limit, which is
Mhm.
actually part of the NMC code of practice. Anything that is beyond their limits, they can always seek a specialist to handle. A multidisciplinary team, can involve as few as 3 to as many as 15, or depending actually on the patient's needs. Another or the fourth one I can mention is that wards are all specialized unit in the NHS, or NHS is the hospital in the
Mhm.
UK, which is it's actually NHS is government funded.
Yeah.
So nurses working in a specific ward tends to become an expert, okay, in the care being provided, as they tend to focus on one specific field of patient care.
Mhm.
Like when I work in the gastroenterology ward, I focus only on the care of patients with illnesses that involves the upper digestive tract, which allowed me to be more skillful and also tends to avoid mistake and be more efficient and effective in care. Another thing or another one I could mention is that the presence, or we nurses should always at all times practice the six fundamentals of care. Okay, and what are these fundamentals of care? This is care, compassion, communication, competence, commitment, and courage. Although these fundamentals are also being practiced around the globe, apart from courage at times, no, we tend to always just follow, okay, what doctors will say, and we
Okay.
do not say, okay, or we are scared to speak out what we think is best for our patient, which is quite actually I feel quite sad,
No.
really, because as nurses we have our own mind, as long as what we say is for the good of our patient. Okay, and last that I could think of is that manual handling
Yeah.
in the clinical setting. In UK, manual handling is not allowed, or we are not allowed to lift patients at all. Okay, and then when nurses, when you get there, you will see a variety of equipment that are available for use in moving and handling of patients, which is strictly, okay, should be used all the time.
Oh wow. There you go. There are a lot of differences between the UK healthcare system and the Philippine healthcare system. And what I learned from this one is the six fundamental of care. Wow, I think you cannot only use that for the healthcare system, but you can also use in your daily life.
Yeah.
Especially that it's February, it's the month of love, so maybe we can also use the six fundamentals of care towards love, something like that. But thank you so much, Miss Marla. It's really a very interesting topic for you to answer the differences between the Philippines and the UK healthcare system. I have another question on that. Are there any protocols or procedures in the UK that significantly differ from those in other healthcare systems, and how did you adjust to these differences?
Um, with regards to nursing procedures, there are really no major difference that I could mention, or any major differences that I could mention. Nursing skills and knowledge in preparing patients for procedure are all the same, I should say. Like, for example, preparing a patient for surgery. All patients for surgery have certain preparation to follow depending on the type of surgery the patient will undergo.
Mm.
The only difference probably is to adjust to hospital protocols, which could be different in all hospitals, even hospitals in the UK. These
Mm.
hospital protocols can be easily learned and be adapted during orientation or as soon as you start your work, right? To any new hospital. Okay, this applied to any new hospital any nurse will work for.
Oh, okay. So, what advice do you have for nurses planning to work in the UK regarding the understanding and adapting to this healthcare system?
My advice, actually, my advice to all nurses who wish to work in the UK is that they have to be adaptive and resilient,
Mhm.
right? They need to adjust to their new environment, giving respect, of course, to the British culture and withstanding any challenges that they may encounter. It's hard, but
Right.
of course, we are Filipinos, especially I mean
Yeah.
Filipinos. Applying to become a UKRN is nobody's choice but ours alone, okay? And let us not forget that this is a privilege given to us and we must embrace with respect and dignity. Let us continue to uphold the profession that we choose and adapt to the new healthcare system. We need to know and learn by heart to apply the fundamentals of nursing that I just mentioned. And of course, there is in the UK, they have this code of professional standard, okay, which is the base of conduct and practices for all nurses in the UK.
Oh, wow. And that actually leads to our third session, which we will be talking about the professional development and training. And for this session, Miss Marla, how has continuous learning played a role in your professional development as a nurse in the United Kingdom over the past decade?
As nurses, actually, Sir Ellie, we never stop learning.
Mhm.
Okay, healthcare system and practices are always changing. Okay, we need to be updated and always ready to adapt to these changes for the good of our nursing practice.
Yeah, as what they said, change is the only permanent thing in the world. We always
Yes.
have up on that, yes. Well, what are some trends or changes in the nursing field that you believe will shape the future of professional development for nurses?
As I mentioned, the healthcare system is always changing. Although I have been away in the UK for a long time, but um, a lot of changes have happened. I
Okay.
did a lot of reading and I learned about the new practices in the UK that did not exist during the time I was there. Okay. First major change I could mention or I have actually learned about is the use of news chart as a tool. Yeah, it's a tool to identify a patient who is deteriorating.
Mm,
This is a tool developed by the Royal College of Physicians, which improves the detection of clinical deterioration. Okay, and
mhm,
then It also gives and guides the nurses for appropriate response, okay, which could mean patient safety and improving patient outcome. Another change that I major another major change, of course, that I have just learned, which did not exist during my time, is of course the test of competence. The test of competence, which actually being done now by nurses to qualify, only started in 2014. And I
Mm.
believe this type of change is really good because this promotes high professional standard of nursing practice in the UK.
Oh, wow. And in what ways has mentorship contributed to your ongoing learning and growth? And how can aspiring nurses, those who are watching us right now, seek out effective mentorship opportunities?
Um, UK in the UK or UK practice believes in the importance of mentorship in the healthcare sector. Okay, every nurse who trained and studied inside, okay, even those nurses who studied in the UK, and of course nurses from abroad, or nurses like us, okay, we all go through having a mentor in the clinical setting. Actually, I'm also a product of such mentor student relationship.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, just as what we do here now at ATS. Okay, as a technical trainer, we offer mentorship. Okay, that will give our future UKRN insights and overview of how and what to prepare for the test of competence to become a registered nurse in the UK.
Oh wow, fantastic. It's really nice to hear about that. But I can attest on, our technical trainers, including you and the other trainers there, that you really offer, mentorship that offer insights and overview of how our nurses can prepare for the UK healthcare system. Wow, amazing. And of course, we're moving to our first session, and it's time to turn the spotlight to our audience. Yay! Prior event today, we invited all our followers to register and write their questions on the form. And since we reviewed a good number of interesting questions today, we will be choosing the top five. Yes, you heard it. Top five questions that Miss Marla will answer. And of course, the people who ask the five chosen questions will get an exciting reward. Isn't that fun? Yes, of course. You heard that right. We are giving our lucky viewers who participated in our interactive question and answer with an exclusive UKRN ebook that they
Yeah.
can download and use. Can we have some hands there as they learn more about the UK nursing profession? So, this is actually expensive, and we are just giving it for free, and we're really glad that we have chosen five questions. There are a lot of questions coming from our audience, but we only pick five of them. So, are you ready to know what our audience have to ask you, Miss Marla?
Shoot, Sir Ellie. Go on.
For our first question from our audience, what are the tips in passing the OSCE?
uh Tips, okay. This is actually what we do with this is actually what we do good in ATS, right? But for now, there are a lot of things I can give you. I don't think we will have enough time right now, which is why you will need to enroll with ATS. Although I can give you a basic tip which applies, I think, to all who wish to take any exam. First, of course, is a thorough review is needed to pass your OSCE exam. OSCE, first of all, stands for Objective Structured Clinical Exam. So it means it is objective and it is structured. So it follow a certain criteria that your examiner will need to see on your actual exam. And with ATS, we will give you those details on how to perform on the actual OSCE. And I can give you tips also on the different reading materials that will be helpful. Okay, like the Royal Marsden of Clinical Procedure and the NMC Code of Standard for Nurses. So those are
Uh,
just little tips I can give you right now.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the time today is not enough for you to tell them the whole process of the Yoski. Oh, right. I hope that answered the question coming from one of our audiences. We have another question here. How many months is the preparation for the OSCE exam? They have a follow up question. Are we working and have a review at the same time once employed?
With regards to the preparation for the exam, I should say you must give yourself at least 2 to 3 months for review. Okay. And actually, when you get to the UK, you will be given a mentor to work with in the ward who will also help you prepare for your OSCE. Okay. So you will be given ample time when you get to the UK. And this mentor will assess also if you are ready to go for your actual OSCE exam. OSCE exam, sorry, yeah.
Mhm. Oh, wow. The OSCE exam, yes. We have another question here. The third question. What are the benefits of being a UK registered nurse?
Oh, there are a lot actually. To be honest, I love I love being away. Sorry, I love being in the UK. Okay, because there are a lot of benefits. Of course, aside from receiving competent pay, the UK nursing practice has a wide range of career opportunities because you can choose field you want to specialize with. And when you specialize on a certain field, you get higher rate of pay as well. They also have flexible working hours suitable for work and family balance. And of course, most of all, working in the UK is also an opportunity to migrate with family.
Oh, wow. You know what? I also love UK. Hopefully someday but I can also visit United Kingdom. We have
Yeah.
another question here, Miss Marla. So, how can you cope up when working outside your comfort zone and way far different from your previous work experience?
Hmm. As I mentioned earlier, no, to be able to cope, we must be adaptive and resilient. It's always a challenge to get out of our comfort zone. We all know that. But away, our comfort zone is a new and better horizon to pursue or a new opportunity to spread our wings. Nursing is nursing. The six fundamentals of care is the basic of what we do. Again, these fundamentals care, compassion, communication, commitment, competence, and courage. This is what we do. These fundamentals is always inherent in us as nurses. So it could be a different setting, but same fundamentals apply. So do not think that there will be really a big difference when you render care to a different setting. So it's really, as long as you do the fundamental, you'll be good with it.
Oh, wow. The six fundamental of nursing in the UK. I will always remember that in my mind as well. We have one more question. So, again, we mentioned top five, and this is the fifth question coming from the audience. My last hospital experience was 2010 to 2012. Do I have a chance to work in the UK? I am currently a public health nurse. That's the question.
Um, I'm not sure what type of public health nurse she means by this, but if this is actually an office job,
Mhm.
then she might not be able to qualify because NMC has their own specific requirement. Okay, and those requirements is that you must be a registered nurse. Your license must be current. Okay, if you are Filipino, of course your license here in the Philippines should be current, and you should have a minimum of 6 months registered practice. And of course, you should not be more than 12 months out of practice. Actually,
Mm,
which is why I have been away also from the UK for a long time. That is why I also have to take my CBT exam because again, I'm not current. So it's always that it's a requirement by the NMC. right?
Mm.
That you should not be out of practice for more than 12 months.
All right. So, well, there you go. The five questions coming from our audience. So, there you have it. What an amazing and enriching live session. For those who have participated in our activity and your questions have been chosen, which we mentioned earlier, congratulations. Please wait for our team to contact you in the details you provided in the form in order to know how you can get your exclusive UKRN ebook. And for those questions that we weren't able to answer this time, don't worry because we will be sending you a message and answer your queries after this live session in the next few days via MailChimp. So you have to make sure that you have filled out your contact details there, most especially your email addresses. All right. So as we draw near to the end of our session, I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to nurse Miss Marla Pia Alzate for sharing her invaluable experiences and wisdom with us today. Your insights have undoubtedly enlightened and inspired us all. Thank you so much, Miss Marla.
You're very much welcome, Sir Ellie.
See you around. See you at work.
Bye.
Hi. And to our audience, thank you for your active participation and engaging questions. Remember, the journey of nursing knows no bounds, and with determination and perseverance, you too can thrive beyond borders. On behalf of our entire team, I'd like to express our sincere appreciation to everyone who joined for today's online event, Beyond Borders Life as a UKRN. We hope you found this experience enriching and informative. Stay tuned for future events where we'll continue to explore diverse perspectives and insights in the ever evolving landscape of healthcare. Also, for those who have not yet subscribed or followed us yet, please follow our ATS Learning Center's social media pages at ATS Learning Center. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, believe it or not, and even TikTok. Learn from our competent and skilled nurse trainers and book one of our courses for your CBT and OSCE preparations. Let us help you pave the way to your UKRN success. Until then, take care and continue to make a positive impact in the world of healthcare. Once again, this is Ellie reminding you that this is where success begins. Choose success. Choose ATS. Thank you.
I should say very important. It's because it helps the nurses to have an overview and also a brief idea of what the OSCE is all about. It also gives them an idea of what they need to know, what they should prepare, and how to prepare for their OSCE when they get to the UK. As a fellow nurse, I can give them advice based on my own experience as a UKRN for 10 years. I should say that they should never stop learning. Learning is something that will help them improve more, and that it will also help them to become better in their field of nursing. They should choose ATS Learning Center. It's because with ATS Learning Center, we help them to pass their OSCE and their CBT exam. We give them ideas, and of course, our online modules are all very helpful, giving them insights and further knowledge of what a UKRN should be like.